Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective, going to 5,000 subscribers, September 7th, Texas LSU. Can't wait, excited to be back. Been on vacation, came down with a bit of a sinus infection, so battling through some things, but nonetheless excited to be back on YouTube, talking with you guys. If you like what you hear, hit the description box below. I'll have all my social media links for you to follow us and continue to just chat. I love communicating and had so many great conversations with many of you throughout social media. So let's continue to grow this platform. So, just in my return here, I was doing some thinking over the course of my vacation, just about things I want to touch on the rest of the year, things we want to focus on going into the football season, specifically for Texas, and just content I want to touch on throughout getting prep for the season, predictions, under the radar players, things of that such. Also reflecting on what we've currently discussed thus far, really through spring ball. And the one thing I just kind of auditing my own channel and our own content is I haven't talked enough about Sam Ehlinger. And funny enough, at the time I'm recording this video, we see the tweet from Bob Ballou of Terry Bradshaw, who, Hall of Fame quarterback, 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Louisiana Tech alum, decided to open his mouth and speak out of his tongue about Sam Ehlinger, QB1, and we have to protect QB1 here. And the reason why I say all this, I have not talked enough about this guy, and then Terry comes along and fuels the fire. And it's funny because in a live chat, which was the most recent thing we did, I said that somebody asked about trap games for 2019, and I said Louisiana Tech was a trap game, just because of what we've shown our first two openers under Tom Herman, and that is no longer a concern. For those of you who did not see the video or the tweet, he went on to say that he didn't mention Sam Ehlinger by name per se, but he said the Texas quarterback's not good. And they've, I guess we were trying to interpret that he said they've recruited 3 5-star quarterbacks. But honestly, I wasn't able to follow him, with the Gordon Gekko suspenders and seemed like he just came off, a handle of Jameson. I'm not sure what's going on there with Terry, but it coincides with what I've seen a lot of regarding the energy towards Sam Ehlinger, media, players, what have you. He seems to be a very polarizing player just within the college football atmosphere. At work the other day, a friend of mine who is a fellow Big 12 football fan, he happens to support Texas Tech, comes up to me, and we have conversations all the time, comes up to me and says, hey, Steve, I'll be honest with you, I hate Sam Ehlinger. I'm just quoting what he said. I hate Sam Ehlinger. And you know what? That made me happy inside. As a Texas fan, when is the last time we had a marquee player, let alone a quarterback, that everybody else hated? See, we always talk about the hatred, us as fans, the hatred we've had for other players, other great quarterbacks in the Big 12. Recently with the run that Oklahoma's had, whether it's Kyler or Baker. And it's justified because they were very good players who were self-aware that they were very good players. And we now have a guy who is ascending towards that if he's not there already. And Sam Ehlinger is very confident. I will say he is self-aware that he's a very good player, and he's not afraid to chime in with his opinion. He's not afraid to engage in any competitive talk. I'm not going to say he's even out there like a Baker is, because he's not. And he's got his head on straight. You listen to his interviews just regarding the team and how he covers, how he talks about this program, and his passion for Texas football is why not only am I excited about him, but I will defend him. And I will defend him, I know his teammates will as well, because of, his character, right? So when I look at Sam Ehlinger and I hear opposing fans, I hear media, you hear Baker Mayfield out there and his commentary, even though, he's an NFL player, supposed to be focusing on the high expectations that the Cleveland Browns have, but he's here talking about Sam Ehlinger. That is where we've ascended to with the quarterback, because you know what? People don't hate people who suck in terms of opposing fans and people that aren't moving the needle in the conference. You think anybody at Texas Tech would hated Tyrone Swoops? And I'm not trying to disrespect these guys, but or Case McCoy or anybody of that ilk? No, absolutely not. That heats. But as soon as we have a guy that starts breaking a couple records, gets us to 10 wins, in his sophomore season, and he, for all intents and purposes, missed almost the entire Baylor game and big parts of the Iowa State game, and still produced the numbers that he produced. Yeah, and then on top of that, he'll let you know he's the guy that came on as we accepted the trophy, the Sugar Bowl. Texas is back. So I love it. I love the energy. I know Sam is here for the smoke. You saw it with the Dave Campbell cover. We covered that back on the live chat as well, and hopefully we can do another live chat here soon as I continue to get healthier and get re-engaged with Tran here. But I'm just really, really excited for all of that, because overall, I feel like as a Texas fan, and I said this last season, but or throughout the season, but it's been an enjoyable offseason outside of the Brew McCoy drama. It really has been an enjoyable offseason as a Texas fan, really to hone in on other parts of the roster. And I think just from the questions I've received and the feedback that I've had, the dialogue that I've had with you guys, as well as the videos we've made, it's really been about every part of our roster and how it's going to be built, even in recruiting outside of the quarterback position. And that's because of Sam and what he's stabilized and what we potentially have the next 2 years. Even though, yes, we were excited about Jaquindon Jackson out of Dallas. I'm still excited about Rashawn Johnson. I'm still excited about Hudson Card at Lake Travis. I'm excited at Casey Thompson and what he was able to solidify in the backup position coming out of the spring. But the stability that we have there with Sam is undeniable, and it's undeniable to the rest of the people in the conference, and it's undeniable to the rest of the people in the country, because newsflash, Sam Ehlinger is a top 5 Heisman candidate, and there's going to be a lot of people that bet on him to win the Heisman Trophy based upon the momentum of last season, the productivity he played at. Both those games going against number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winning Kyler Murray, he basically played him to a stalemate almost. So, you look at two of his best football games he played last year were both against OU. And I granted OU's defense was trash and it's probably going to be trash again. But, just that toe-to-toe matchup, right? So I really, really anticipate that level of notoriety for Sam. He's going to be first team all Big 12. I have no doubt about that. And he's going to be on some All-American teams, whether it's second, third team, what have you. I think there's that's how, obviously you'll have like your Tuas and Trevor Lawrence, and then then there's a debate right there. You have a Sam, you have a Justin Herbert who decided to come back to Oregon, Jake Fromm at Georgia. So a lot of these guys are going to be in the mix, but there's going to be some voters and some people just with the numbers that Sam will put up in the Big 12. Early season marquee matchup against LSU to really, if he's able to put on, really, pull out the win, but put up some numbers or have a memorable moment. See, one of the things that helped Vince Young, because Vince Young, obviously he didn't win the Heisman, but he finished second to Reggie Bush in 2005. But that early season game where he went to Ohio State and Columbus and they got the win. And Vince didn't have great stats in that game, but he had signature moments. Including the last-second touchdown pass to Lyman Swede. So if Sam's able to have some moments like that in the LSU game, I think that could garner some momentum for him that he can use to ride out throughout the season. But my focus as a fan, and I know it's not on the Heisman Trophy, it's on winning the Big 12 and competing for an opportunity to be one of the 4 playoff teams. That's the expectation level I have for this team, and I know that's the expectation level that Sam, as well as the rest of this Texas Longhorn, these players as well as these coaches have been working towards in the offseason. And in terms of what's going to get us there, because that's what I'm really focused on, to me it's Sam's relationship with Colin Johnson and Devin Duvernay. we've spent a lot of time talking about all the exciting new pieces, whether it's Jake Smith or Jordan Whittington and even the running back position, what we're going to get with Keontae Ingram and all these guys and not newcomers, but guys that are going to bust through like a Joshua Moore or Malcolm Epps or Brendan Eagles, all these names. But it really comes down to the original three, I would say. When I say the original three, I'm talking about the guys that have kind of been the steady starter since 2017, right, of Tom Herman's initial group. And that's Devin Newman and Colin Johnson and Sam Ehlinger. And if those three alone, if he's able to feed those two guys, and they're able, all three of them, Devin Duvernay hasn't been concerned with health, but Colin and Sam, health has been an issue. Point being, if they're able to stay healthy, especially for Colin's sake and his draft stock, but just able to keep that health, able to play throughout the season, that gives us our best chance possible to make the playoffs and to hit our goal, right? So just the missed opportunities, and that's where Sam has an area of opportunity to grow. The missed post routes, when we've talked about it all season, the deep ball opportunities, the big play opportunities, because he's got everything else, in my opinion, mastered. And that's why I really have fallen in love with Sam Ehlinger as a quarterback and as a leader of this football team. His ability to get better and learn from his mistakes. From freshman year, when we were all frustrated with the growing pains of his decision-making, to him going down to only 5 interceptions his sophomore year. Getting better with taking sacks and throwing the ball away, living to play another down. I mean, and if you're looking at those 5 interceptions from, the second game of the season almost to the Kansas game, there was no interceptions. So ball security became a big premium to him. And yes, that you give credit to Tim Beck, Tom Herman, and the coaching staff, but you also have to give a lot of credit to Sam Ehlinger for putting in the time in the film room and the weight room to get stronger, and just overall work ethic to propel himself as a player and get better. When you make that type of leap from going, being more of a co-starter in 2017 to 41 touchdowns combined in your sophomore year, he has not gotten enough credit from me, especially throughout this offseason, for the tremendous season he had and, again, where he's headed. So health and just improving on big play, deep ball accuracy, those are really the only two things I'm looking for, because there's not going to be a perfect player, not a perfect player in the NFL, and every guy's going to have their weaknesses. But Sam, a lot of players, these Terry Bradshaw types and these other guys coming out here saying, he's overrated or he's mediocre, he doesn't talk, he's talking too much and all this type of stuff. Look, all these other guys, that have ascended and blown up and as quarterbacks throughout the country, how many of them have the resume already that Sam has just in his first 2 years as a starter? So, let's keep that in mind as well. I'd love to get everyone's opinions on, I know where everybody stands on the Terry Bradshaw stuff, and I'm partially just clowning, but I really am not concerned about that, because I know Tom's gonna, Tim, all those guys are gonna get together and cut it up and laugh about it. But La Tech, you have our attention now. Just saying. But in regards to Sam, just really curious to see how the excitement level amongst our fan base. He's getting a lot of hype positively, but it's a lot of negative heat and whatnot. But me personally, like I said, I love it. I'm excited about it. It echoes to me that people are afraid. There's fear. And when people are afraid, that type of language and that type of heat goes out. People don't hate, like I said at the beginning of the video, people don't hate people who, especially in sports, who aren't that good. So it's just something that, like I said, guys, I'm so excited about. But follow us, hit us up. Can't wait to hear everyone's comments. Horns always up. Appreciate y'all.